An uncanny, and what strongly seems to be a planned alignment of a multitude of ancient archaeological sites around Earth strongly points towards humans of the past being guided globally and over many millennia by some sort of higher intelligence. Personally, my mind was absolutely blown once I manually connected all the sites on Google Earth for myself, which is exactly what I'm about to do for you. At the end of this video, I expect your mind to be blown just as mine was. I also encourage you to try this out for yourself in Google Earth and replicate my results. Before we begin, please forgive me for butchering some of these names. Nearly all of these sites are considered what is known as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Sites that are of extreme special cultural or physical significance to the world. I'm going to be drawing a line from each place to the next one. At the end, you'll understand why. We're going to start off with Easter Island, which is home to the mysterious Moai statues, which were created around 800 years ago for reasons that still remain unknown. A total of 887 monolithic stone Moai statues have been counted. Our next stop is going to be the Nazca Lines, which are mysterious giant glyphs carved into the ground in the Nazca Desert of Peru. They were thought to be built around 1600 years ago, but no one knows why they are there, as they can only be seen from the sky. And why would anyone do that when flight hadn't been invented yet? Our next stop is Machu Picchu, which was built around 600 years ago at the height of the Incan Empire, and allegedly as a means to honor a, quote, sacred landscape. If you haven't heard of it before, it's a city literally built on top of a mountain by hand, with rocks sometimes weighing as much as 40 tons. After Machu Picchu, we're headed towards Tassel and Niger. Tassel and Niger is a range of mountains in Algeria in the Sahara Desert. It contains some 15,000 ancient cave drawings, some of which are up to 10,000 years old. Some of the carvings are a bit strange as well. Next up, the Oasis at Siwa. The Oasis at Siwa is estimated to be around 4,600 years old, and many believe it could be much older. It is famous for being the home of the Oracle of Amun. Amun was an Egyptian deity. Alexander the Great believed that his divinity was actually a result of his visit to this oracle. Next up is one I'm sure all of you have heard of before, the Pyramids of Giza. These are estimated to be around 4,600 years old. Next stop, Persepolis. Persepolis was the ancient capital of Persia, a very, very old empire. It was built around 2,500 years ago. Mohenjo-Daro, our next stop, is also around 4,600 years old. It is part of the ancient Indus Valley civilization. The name literally translates to the Mound of the Dead. It is thought to be one of the world's earliest major urban settlements. And finally, Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat was built around 1,000 years ago and was dedicated to the god Vishnu. According to a 13th century Chinese traveler, it was allegedly believed that the temple was constructed in only one night by an architect of divine power. Now let's complete our journey by connecting the final destination to our original one, Easter Island. Once we zoom out, do you see a pattern? All of these sites line up on the same line around Earth. The line is, except for a very few minor deviations that may be due to the Earth slightly shifting over the many millennia these sites were constructed, as well as perhaps partial user error on my part mapping these out, perfect. It almost looks like an equator. The probability of this occurring by chance is basically zero. Why do all these ancient and quite important sites line up on the same line on Earth? Was someone guiding the construction of all these ancient sites? Why are so many, if not all of these sites related to something divine? And what was that divinity? In order to orchestrate such a thing, these civilizations would have somehow had to have had made contact with each other across the space of the entire planet, as well as over the course of several millennia, in addition to being able to basically see the Earth from space in order to construct such an uncanny alignment. These aren't the only sites that line up either. There's quite a few more sites that line up as well, as you can see here. I only cut some of them out for the sake of brevity. Once again, I encourage you to try this out for yourself. Also, if you know of any mysteries you'd like me to cover in upcoming videos, I encourage you to leave a comment below. Check out the rest of our channel and subscribe to discover more mysteries that you probably shouldn't.